Welcome back, Last Request Barbecue Show. Today's episode, bison brisket in a hurry. What do I mean? Because of the nature of the bison brisket, it doesn't take the kind of long, slow time that the beef brisket does. So we're just gonna see. I've cooked a beef brisket, as you know. I'll put the link in the show notes for that episode. And I've done a bison brisket before. So this is kind of like a part two. So first of all, thanks to Kelly at Noble Bison. Look at this amazing, amazing brisket. What I'm actually gonna do with this brisket, I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm just gonna cook the larger parts of the brisket, the smaller parts of the brisket, or the thinner parts, I'm going to cut off and I'm gonna make a carne asada with it, a bison carne asada. So there'll be another episode. So I'm just gonna cook the most meatiest, thickest part. For that, I'm gonna do a couple of seasonings. I'm gonna put this Brock Lesnar seasoning from the Bearded Butchers and then follow up with their amazing black. So these two combination, and I got the idea from the Bearded Butchers site, who raised bison and cooked bison, and they did a bison not with pepper, but with a little bit of Brock and a lot of black, so to speak. It's another hot day today, so another refreshing drink. Again, thanks to the Bearded Butchers for sending this along. And by the way, what am I drinking? Yeah, I want a lot of energy today. Starting off with a Guru. If you don't know Guru, it is an energy drink, very tasty and all organic, so it's a better for you energy drink. So thanks to the folks at Guru for sending me some of this stuff. I do enjoy it in the afternoon instead of another coffee, for example. And it's quite delicious, actually. So I digress. Let's get cooking. All right, let's get going. So I got my gloves on. I got my no-cry cut gloves on because we'll be doing some cutting with our Dahlstrom knives. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of fun. But not fun as in dangerous. Be careful, they're very sharp. Don't do that. All right, so this is a beautiful bison brisket. So let's cut this open, see what we've got. And I'm gonna take some of the fat and render it down as tallow for the carne asada, actually. So it's a multi-purpose cook today, using this nice, wonderful piece of meat. It looks and smells amazing, but you know, some of these thinner pieces, they're gonna be perfect for the carne asada with this thicker part for my cook of the brisket. So let's get this out of here, saving this hemoglobin so we don't make too much of a mess. There we go. Hold on. And into the garbage it goes. Okay, a little bit of a mess, but that's all right. All right, so let's inspect what we got. As always, a beautiful cut. Lots of thinner pieces, right? So these pieces, bison is always a whole lot leaner. There's some smaller pieces that'll just kind of ordinarily, if you were cooking for a long period of time, they just go away basically. So I'm gonna make some nice cuts, but save the product for my carne asada. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to try practice more. But anyway, let's get to a little bit of cutting here. So we see here this edge. I'm going to cut this edge off here. Not much work to do here, but there we go. So there's a piece of the fat that we're going to save and render down into tallow. Not much of it. And you know, as you listen to the guys in the Bearded Butchers, I learn a lot listening to them. You know, the way that the bison is, where you're getting this cut of meat, it's really holding up that massive head if you think of a bison. So there's a lot of muscle and it's a lot leaner to begin with, so you just generally have less. I'm not so worried about this fat. I'm just going to kind of leave it. But now I do want to shape this up. What do I want? I want all this for my carne asada. Now, this is not a great show cut, but I'll be using this and cutting them into quarters anyway. So basically taking the point following this line and cutting here and then roasting the rest of this is what I'm going to do. So there we go. This may be a bit unconventional, but it is a great way to use the bison, and then you've got just this big piece here. So there we go. There's a nice piece there that we'll cut into quarters. There's some fat right here. I'm just going to slice right off, and again, we're going to render that down as tallow for my carne asada. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. A little bit more. I do want my brisket to be good looking and ergonomic and all those great things. So I'm just going to cut off a little bit of this. Nothing's going to waste though. There we go. And there we got a nice looking brisket. Cool. Just for the look, sort of. And it's less about aerodynamic and it's more about if you leave small pieces off, they're just going to cook out anyway and they won't be that tasty and they'll be too crunchy. So let's take a look at the other side, take a quick look. Take a little bit of this off. Not too much though. The way these will come to you are basically ready to go. I've watched a lot of people cut briskets and I can watch. It's a little bit memorizing, kind of like watching the Bearded Butchers cook because they do all kinds of rounds and trims. I'm like, oh my God, when they do the cook, it looks fantastic. What did I call it before? Kind of like a bonsai tree, right? You just kind of keep working at it till you're happy. Oh, a little bit of silver skin here. I want to get rid of this. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. See? It's like Just like a bonsai tree, just a snip, snip here. Hello, Mr. Bee. Hello. Got a few bees. You know, we're here in August, so we're attracting some bees. But anyway, check that out. That is a nice, beautiful piece of brisket ready to be seasoned. So let's get seasoning it. We're all set. I'm just protecting my brisket from the bees. The bees are enjoying this brisket, I think, as much as I will. All right, so we're going to season it with 2 seasonings from the Bearded Butcher. So the first seasoning is this Brock Lesnar, the wrestler, MMA guy. You're going to see me using his on a nice cowboy steak coming up soon. We're just going to give a hint of this because it's a very salt forward. You can see the chunks of salt. So a little bit of salt into our brisket. So we're going to do 2 spices. We start with this. And again, this idea was from watching an episode with the Bearded Butchers. And it turned out quite nicely. So let's see if we can have it come out just as nice. Great aroma from this spice. So check them out. They're all available at All Barbecue Canada. Sells them here. That's where I came to know them. All right. Yeah, we got everything with Brock here. Good, perfect. That's just about as much as I want. Now I'm going to follow up with their black, which really hits it out of the park. I'm going to save some of this because I'm using it later in another cook. Put a lot on, but save myself some because I'm almost running out. Hint, hint. There we go. All right, perfect. And that saved me just as much as I need for the next one. All right, let's get this brisket onto the odor. All right, our beef brisket has been sweating, so to speak, through some of these spices for about 15 minutes, just so it kind of sets in. Let's get this onto the yoder. Nice piece of brisket. That turned out really nice. Really happy with that. Look at that. Beautiful execution. Loving that. I could even have cut some of this point down here a little thinner, but let's see how it goes. I've got enough for my carne asada, I think, so just that much because I cut it off all the way around here, so I think that's going to work. So let's get that going. I got it about 225, and then I'll increase it. The other thing we're going to take is our fat here, cover it up in aluminum, and let that render down. And I'm also going to get, actually, a pan of water underneath. I forgot. I'm going to get a pan of water underneath for a bit of moisture. So I'll be back with that, and I'm going to actually plug in our temperature guide, which I consistently forget. That and the water, forget all the time. I'll be right back. Okay, it is dark. Got some nice lights here on the yoder. We've been cooking since about 2 o'clock. It is now close to 9, so almost 7 hours. I thought it'd be an 8-hour cook. Our brisket's about 197, so I'm gonna take it off and wrap it. Oh, look at this. Check that out. Doesn't that look just amazing? So let's get this off the yoder and let's get this wrapped. Oh, jiggle, jiggle. Oh my goodness, it's falling apart. There we go. Woo, woo, woo. Check that out. Look at that. It smells just amazing. Let's get that wrapped up. We'll take it up to about 200, 210, and then we'll rest it for several hours, actually, at a very low temperature. All right. Smells just amazing. So let's get this off. Ooh, it's hot too. Flaming hot. Woo. That is hot. And then this is some of our tallow. So let's pour some tallow, a little bit of tallow on it. Put a little bit of tallow here and here. Of course, I've got overlapping paper, so I'm not worried about it going through to the table. So again, overlapping a couple of pieces. We want it really snug and tight. There we go. Coming through the table a little bit, but that's all right. Fold one. It's like a Christmas present. 2, 3, and then we'll take this paper. We'll fold this under here. There we go. Perfect. Let's get this back on. Now that was about 190, so I want this at about 210, and then I'm gonna rest it. So let's get this back onto the yoder. All right, we are 8.5 hours into the cook. Obviously it's a little dark out, so night has fallen. Our temperature, I've lowered the yoder right down to its lowest degree, which is 150. Actually, it's at 118 today. So the yoder's work is done, so I'm gonna shut the yoder off. So let's get the brisket off, inspect it, and then rest it. I'm gonna put it in a styrofoam cooler and let it rest for another little bit. Right now it's tracking at about 180 degrees. I want that down to about 150, and then we'll slice it up. It'll be good for tomorrow. All right, let's get this off the yoder. Jiggle, jiggle. Feeling good. Let's unwrap this puppy. Let's see how we've done. Feels amazing. Still hot as heck. Look at those juices. Incredible. All right. Look at that brisket. Wow. It looks just amazing. It's got a beautiful bark on it. Smells amazing. When I took it off, it was 180. Let's rest it to 150 and then we'll carve it up. All right, our brisket has been resting comfortably. Let's get it out of here. Oh, look at all that steam. She's still hot, man, still hot. Woo. Yeah, it's still hot for sure, but let's check our temp one last time. Buttery soft, 150, 155. Good for carving. Oh, it's buttery soft. Amazing. Fantastic. All right. Well, and as we know, bison brisket, not easy to get right, but I think we've done some good work here. All right, I've got my Dale Strong knife here. Let's make a cut right down the center, just for the kids at home. Oh, it's like buttery soft. Finish on the inside. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Bison, but look at the juice on that. Amazing. Juicy. Whew. All right, let's cut it up. Thanks again to everyone who's been watching and supporting the channel. Thanks to my friends at the Bearded Butchers for all their tutelage and advice and products. And of course, thanks to Kelly from Noble Bison, who supplied this wonderful, wonderful product. Check that out, eh? Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that piece. You can see the steam off it. I'm outside right now. All right, bon appetit, everyone. There we have it, a delicious bison brisket.